Hi, this is James Sedley. Welcome back to the Living in Savannah channel. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Buyer's remorse is rampant among pandemic purchasers. Screamed a headline earlier this week in one of the trade publications that I follow. Beyond that headline, the starting point for the article was a recent survey that revealed that more than three-fourths of U.S. homeowners that purchased in the prior year expressed regret about that decision to purchase. In today's video, I am going to look at the top reasons cited as causes of this dissatisfaction in the survey in the hopes of helping you or someone you know to avoid making a similar decision and having similar regrets on their next home purchase. Before doing so, let me remind you to please like, subscribe, and share. And with that, let's look at the top 6 causes of today's remorse in the survey and how you can avoid them. Number 1 was, I spent too much. No surprise that this reason tops the list, or is it or near the top of the list in any large purchase decision. Price is going to come into play, and given the run-up in home prices during the pandemic, in particular, this concern was actually likely amplified for many home buyers. Fear of missing out, FOMO, played a role in many home purchases in the past couple of years as more buyers were chasing many fewer homes and prices were rising accordingly and dramatically. Thankfully, we have seen those hockey stick price increases subside, and the housing market is normalizing by most accounts. That said, and as I've noted in other recent episodes here on the channel, I would not expect a return to pre-pandemic pricing levels or anything like a crash in the real estate market. Stability or perhaps a slight downward correction is more likely to be the order of the day. So as I would advise my clients in any market conditions, begin with a realistic budget early in the home search process and take all variables, home price, but also insurance, taxes, association and club dues if there are any, upkeep, etc., into account to ensure you are not stretching yourself too thin, and know that you're going to feel very comfortable with the price range that you're looking at. Number 2 was I bought too quickly. As I just mentioned, there was a lot of FOMO going on that drove home purchases during the pandemic, so I would expect that this regret will subside over time with buyers in general. That said, if you were feeling pressure from anyone else to make a hasty decision with what may be the largest financial transaction in your life, take a pause and evaluate the situation. And even better, think ahead before you ever get too close to making a buying decision that could lead to this regret. Work through the numbers and the intangibles before you even start seeing houses to make sure you are comfortable and ready to have a new or second home so that when the right house comes along, the time is right for you. Nearly as awful as thinking that you jumped into buying too early is being unsure of whether you should buy and missing out on your dream home as a result of not being ready to act on the opportunity. Brings us to number 3. And I lumped this actually 3 and 4 in the survey, and I lumped them together here because I think they're part and parcel of the same issue and can be avoided in the same ways. That was, my home requires too much maintenance, and I bought a fixer-upper. Again, this comes down to putting in that work early before you decide to seriously pursue a home purchase. Sure, that ugly duckling home might fit into your budget a lot better than neighboring houses, but it may not seem like much of a steal if it costs you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional sums to turn it into a beautiful swan. Even with interest rates declining of late, they're still over 6%. But don't overlook the difference between that and paying 15 to 20% more for a newer, more efficient, move-in ready home and financing that difference in price versus paying out of pocket up front to fix up that lower cost home, for example. Number 4 was I was pressured to make an offer. This one, I have to admit, just really hurts me to read, and it's hard to understand. Much like the I bought too quickly regret, this is so easily avoidable by being methodical and realistic with your decision whether to purchase and working with a real estate professional that has your best interests at heart. If you're just a paycheck to an agent and another transaction on their ledger, this is going to be a regret that comes into play potentially and frequently. Work with someone who works on your timeline, not theirs, and has demonstrated a commitment to longer-term relationships with their clients and the patience that you should demand and respect. and expect, excuse me. That brings us to number 5, and that was the I bought sight unseen. Again, hopefully the normalizing of the market will remove this as a potential regret going forward. But even in a frenzied market, there are ways to avoid this kind of regret. Structuring the contract in such a way that you have time to see the home during the due diligence and or inspection period, when you can still get out of the contract with few, if any, dollars out of your pocket, for example. I guess I would also ask how many of the buyers expressing this regret did a video walkthrough or call with their agent before making an offer. It's not the same as being there, but if you and your agent aren't leveraging all the resources and technology available before making a big decision like a home purchase, I don't know when you would. That brings us to our final regret on the top of this list, and that was I don't like my home's location. Who knows the context around the original buying decisions here, but getting to know the basics of what my clients are looking for in a home, a community, and a lifestyle is a fundamental building block for me. And I can thankfully say that I cannot recall a single instance where a buyer client had anything approaching this type of comment / regret. Get it right the first time by working with someone who knows the areas of interest and gives you the pluses and minuses and not just the sunshine and rainbows, and you will avoid this regret almost certainly. I hope this helps you or someone you know to avoid these and other regrets when buying a home in the future. It would certainly be my pleasure to assist you in any way that I can. So please do contact me anytime to get started down that path, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. And in the meantime, until the next episode, I appreciate you liking, subscribing, and sharing, and I will see you soon.